So we get back to racing action rather abruptly. It is the second race of the day here for Micromax. Here's your starting grid. So Arjen Kreling starts from pole position, having beaten Noah Janssen to the flag by 55 thousandths of a second. Nicolas Casarino, who starts down in fifth, was given a 5-second time penalty for pushing, demoting him from third, which was then inherited by Gabriel Hoffmann, who starts on the inside of row 2, has alongside Leopold Juch. Casarino has Christos Malakos alongside, with Tim Steger rounding out the 7-strong grid. So now the wet weather conditions have come in. The drivers will have had a lot of acclimatization on Friday as they now enter final phases of getting things ready to go racing. So Arjen Kreling will have Noah Janssen alongside, but this time they will go onto the official formation lap. Spray is absolutely biblical here in Mülsen. Very much a reminder of what we had at the opening round of the very shortened Rotax Max Challenge Germany season, which ended up having a few rounds, if memory serves me correctly. I do remember going to this very circuit. We had Wackersdorf. We also did have Wittgenborn as well. It was 3 race weekends. We had 5 races a weekend, and it was a very, very busy schedule. But with the change in format, it has given the drivers a bit more time to relax between respective sessions, but also gives them more of an opportunity to enjoy being friends in the paddock. That's one of the things about the Rotax family. It is a family. And people do get on very, very well off track. Things do get hot and heated, but that is racing. So now we wait for Tim Steger, who is closing up on the rear of the drivers in front. And we are in the final phase of our formation lap. 9 minutes. It is Arjen Kreling who takes centre stage as our pole sitter after the first race earlier on today. Noah Janssen alongside the man that bested everybody yesterday in the heats phase. Red lights on the starting gantry. Are we ready? We go racing. And it is a good start from Arjen Kreling. Also, not just him, but also Gabriel Hoffmann and Nicolas Casarino. And before we've even hit the exit of turn number 2, Noah Janssen finds himself down in 4th position, having started in 2nd. He looks to the left, right, then looks to the left of Casarino. Up through turn 4 he goes, tries to get up the inside of the number 12, but can't get through for 3rd position. However, looks like Tim Steger's got past Christos Malakos in the back order of things, but it is at the moment an ease racing 1-2. Gabriel Hoffmann now behind Arjen Kreling, with Nicolas Casarino and Noah Janssen not too far behind, but looking a bit deeper on the inside there through that chicane. Gabriel Hoffmann tried to go up the inside of Arjen Kreling, but he left himself open to attack from Nicolas Casarino, who in turn nearly got bandside up the inside, courtesy of Noah Janssen. But into the final corner, we're about to complete the first lap of racing here in the second and final race of the day and the final race of the weekend for the Micromax drivers. It's Arjen Kreling that leads. Gabriel Hoffmann in 2nd. Noah Janssen going up the inside of Nicolas Casarino and goes wide, and Casarino gets the switchback to now retake that 3rd place. Janssen was brave and brazen, but outbraked himself as a result of it. And there is a time penalty, a 3-second time penalty going to Tim Steger for 3 wheels out of the corridor, as now Gabriel Hoffmann looking for the lead. He's got alongside Arjen Kreling going into the chicane. Now, where on earth? What has happened? Nicolas Casarino went straight on and he's in the gravel. Casarino's lost it. Oh, Gabriel Hoffmann's lost it. Oh my goodness, as if you thought that the Deutsche Elektrokart-Meisterschaft would not provide drama. Double waved yellows on the approach to where Casarino is at the minute. So now Arjen Kreling has got Noah Janssen closing in on him, and Noah Janssen has got an opportunity of a victory here on finals day. So into the right-hander comes Arjen Kreling, about to complete lap number 2. Just over 6.5 minutes remaining in this race, and he's got nearly a 7/10 of a second advantage over Noah Janssen, who is definitely motivated to try and get a victory in this race. He's got 20 points after the race earlier on, and also after the heats classification, where he was pretty much nigh on at the top of the timesheets. So a good haul of points. He'll want to close it off with a win, though. That much is guaranteed. Again, double waved yellows, as now that is Casarino. His race weekend is over and done with. Unfortunately, Casarino is out of the kart and walks away with the biggest aura of disappointment around him. So a real shame for Casarino. There is Kreling, and at the moment, Gabriel Hoffmann is still in 3rd place. He kept a hold of 3rd position. He didn't keep a hold of what would have been the lead, and he kept it. But you can see the amount of understeer that they're having to cope with, and there is Hoffmann. So he started picking up the pace. Arjen Kreling is the fastest driver out there, but no longer is that the case, because Gabriel Hoffmann has closed the gap between himself and Noah Janssen to just over 2 seconds. There's 5 minutes of this race remaining. Still plenty of racing, I think, will be coming along, and Casarino is out of the kart. As I said earlier, a real shame. We're down to 6 runners and riders. So Kreling and Janssen last time around were just over 7.5 tenths of a second apart at the finish line. Four and a half minutes to go, and Arjen Kreling is keeping ahead of Noah Janssen. Hoffmann is the fastest driver out on the circuit, and Janssen senses that there is a little chance here, as that was a very long look over the right shoulder from Arjen Kreling to see where Noah Janssen is. And sometimes you'll get drivers on, when it's wet weather conditions, they'll go a little bit wider coming out of the corner in order to carry the momentum through, and that very much is true going through onto the start-finish straight. As Noah Janssen now takes the fastest lap time in this race, and that is a 1 minute 13.228, and that was, well, 0.27 of a second quicker, and now he's closing in on Kreling for the lead. Into the right-hander they go. Janssen gets the move done and takes the lead off of Arjen Kreling, who up until that point on lap number 5 is a little bit of oversteer for Kreling as he came through that right-hander. Just then he put the power down and the back end started to spool up the rear tyres, and all of a sudden it drifted to the left. And he managed to catch it, so a good correction there from Arjen Kreling, who finds himself behind Noah Janssen. Janssen frantically jumping up and down in the seat to try and get some momentum going forward. But you can see that Kreling is closing in on him. Whilst this has all been happening, that gap between Kreling and Hoffmann has now closed. And that gap now is 1.1 seconds. Gabriel Hoffmann is absolutely flying. And there goes Noah Janssen once again on the leader. So he's kept the lead. Kreling's trying to go with him. Hoffmann took the best part of 1.4 seconds, even more than that, as of Arjen Kreling, and he put in a 1 minute 13.007. You can sense that this race is going to go down to the wire. Now Kreling looking to the right-hand side of Noah Janssen, down the straightaway going through into the main infield part here at Mülsen, and there is Gabriel Hoffmann. He's been reeling them in hook, line and sinker. So this is where things get interesting, and mainly because of the fact that Gabriel Hofmann has been putting in the times. He has been showcasing his speed, and it hasn't reflected in the results this weekend. Nevertheless, Gabriel Hofmann definitely wanting a race victory to see out the weekend. But now we go into a minute and 35 still to go. We'll have this plus a couple more laps is all. There was a little bit of a moment between the two knees racing drivers, and there's a bit of a hands up. Sorry about that from Gabriel Hofmann on Arjen Kreling. Sometimes that can happen. You try and outbrake yourself in the wet, you've got to compensate for that distance even more. You get it completely wrong, and especially one of the biggest rules in racing, never take out your teammate. And Hofmann just gets a real good run on Arjen Kreling and into the next right-hander. I think he's, well, he could have gone for second position. Now there's a minute left on the clock plus an additional lap. This is going to be tight. We'll have 2 more laps after this one, so we're on lap number 7 out of 9. And Noah Janssen has pulled away into the distance. The wind could be slipping away for the 2 behind, but it just depends on how quickly they catch up to the number 31, who will lead them onto the penultimate lap. Lap 8 out of 9. It's Noah Janssen that now leads. Once again, Kreling being pressurised by Hofmann. There were 0.167 of a second between each other as, Hofmann went for it again and just had a massive sideways moment. And that has cost him the opportunity of going for second position. But Arjen Kreling is looking feisty, looking for an opportunity, and could get past Noah Janssen if things do change in the next few moments or so. But the timer has hit 0. After this one, we'll be on the 9th and final lap of this race. Noah Janssen has done what he's needed to do. Stayed ahead, controlled proceedings, tried not to not put a foot wrong as he powers up towards the penultimate right-hander, not just of this race, but also of the weekend. That's the penultimate time those drivers will go through that corner, but the final lap board is out. Noah Janssen has the sign he needs. He gets his head down and looks to just punch the throttle hard to the floor in that number 31. But Arjen Kreling is just over 0.4 of a second behind across the line. Looks to be about 2.5 tenths or so. They head into the next left-hander. Kreling goes towards the outside to get a bit more purchase going through that left-hander and into the left-right chicane. Hofmann is closing, but it's not going to be enough for the number 95. Arjen Kreling will do everything in his power to see if there's a chance to get past Noah Janssen, but it's not going to happen as Janssen enters into the final chicane on this circuit. It's lap 9 out of 9, and Janssen will wait until he's crossed the line and taken the checkered to celebrate like we have seen all the way through yesterday. So one more corner. Kreling is closing. He's looking towards the inside. Could there be an upset? There looks to be the case. Arjen Kreling gets past Noah Janssen. It's going to be a run to the line. Who's going to take this one? It's going to be by a whisker. It is Noah Janssen. The winning margin, 13 thousandths of a second. It was a fast and furious run to the line. Arjen Kreling takes second. Oh my goodness me. Fist bumps around between Janssen, Gabriel Hofmann, who rounds up the top 3, and our runner-up. And there's the celebration once again. Both hands off the steering wheel from Noah Janssen. He wins by the closest margin. 13 one-thousandths of a second ahead of Arjen Kreling. Gabriel Hofmann, Leopold Jourk rounds out the top 4 ahead of Tim Steger, who will be demoted down to 6th after his 3-second penalty for a start, a rolling start infringement, which will drop him to 6 with Niklas Casarino. Unfortunately, his race ending abruptly on lap number 2.